Tonight's openings begin with Flirting with Goth, a dark ale from Bookstore Brewing in Winnipeg. They describe this dark ale as roasty calm with hints of spice and malt sweetness, a light bitter finish like coffee on her lips. Interesting theming on this guy, but I can definitely get behind that message. That's lighter tasting than it looks. It's interesting. So what do we have for the first item in? It says camera shutter. What do we have? It's got a little flat flex on it. What are you? Well, this is unexpected. It looks like there's a coil of wire on this side and also on this side. And it appears, yeah, it is a camera shutter. I wonder if those two coils are electromagnetic to drive the shutter. And moreover, why did I order this if that is in fact what it is? Micro solenoid electromagnet for miniature digital camera shutter. I paid a whole $1.73 Canadian with free shipping. So I seem to recall a few months back I was looking for assorted solenoids just to see what experiments I could do with them, and I guess at under $2 with free shipping, this one seemed like a reasonable thing to add to my experimental pile. There's not very much information about it down here. I need to give it polarized DC of about 5 volts, and it should do something. Okay. So that does work. Interesting. That is a very, very weak little solenoid, though. Much smaller than I expected, although I don't really know what I was expecting. Like I said, I was just ordering an assortment of small solenoids, but I think this one's too small for what I had in mind. Oh well, interesting anyway. On to the next thing. This doesn't say what it is or what it claims to be or anything else. So it's a bunch of surface mount components, including several that have escaped from their cage. Which number there is the relevant one? 9910B, maybe? Those don't ring a bell. Let's see if I can find what I ordered. 10 pieces, HV9910B, SOP8, and all these other things. LED driver chip. Oh, okay. Description, nothing. Specifications, just the model number. Right. Universal high brightness LED driver. Switch mode controller for single switch LED drives. Linear and PWM dimming. AC or DC, RGB, blah, 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 blah. VIN up to 470 volts. There's a bunch of math. Current sense input regulator. PWM dimming. And there's our basic example. Here is the input voltage from wherever, an external bridge rectifier or something. LD tied to VDD, VDD being internally generated voltage bypass to ground, PWM dimming, and RT, which sets the internal oscillator. Then we've just got a diode, an inductor, an output capacitor, and a bunch of LEDs in series. That could be interesting to play with to create dimmable mains-driven LEDs. Oh, let's see what the next thing is. This is something that was sent anonymously to my P.O. box. It says terminals. This is these heat shrink wire joiner things. So each one of these is a clear heat shrink sleeve with a little heat activated adhesive there and there, and then a low temperature ring of solder there. So the idea with these is, instead of using a crimp connection, you put your two wires in there, overlapping with a little solder ring in the middle of them, and then you heat it up with your heat gun. It will shrink the heat shrink down to hold the wires mechanically in place, and then the low temperature solder will melt into the wires and connect them electrically. You can see that those white little patches have shrunk down and spread out, and they should provide a weatherproof, water-resistant connection. And then you can see the solder has flowed into the two wires there. Those are cool, and I've got some in a larger size, but this looks like a handy little size to have. I'm going to guess there's about 100 of them in there. Well, 99 now. Thank you to my anonymous donor. Let's go see if I can find a link for that in case anyone else is interested in these. The search term that seems to find these most reliable is heat shrink solder seal wire connectors, and they are available in a variety of sizes. The size seems to correlate with the color coding on them. This is just one randomly selected listing from that search. 100 pieces of white. This guy is selling them for $3.86, but you can see the various different colors seem to indicate the different sizes of wires, so a variety of sizes would be a good thing to keep in stock, and these white ones are the smallest ones, so that should be interesting. So if you are interested, I will put a link to this search, and you can sort by price plus shipping lowest first and hunt around to find what works best for you. All right, next thing in, doesn't say what it is. I guess it was reshipped from a local warehouse. Wow, a bag in a bag with bubble pack and another bag. We have a string of LED beads. Each LED is inside a blob of epoxy or something like it. So 3-wire, I'm assuming that these are probably addressable? Question mark. And then it has this little bag that says first test. So this has 3 LED beads on it. It says data in, input 5 volts. 5 volts is useful. Then the 3 wires are flagged, ground, data, and 5 volts. Okay, how am I supposed to tell which is which when I go to this? So when I'm looking at this one with a connector on it, to me it looks like that wire is a different color than the other two. When I look at these ones that are labeled, to my eye, they all look the same color. Wonder how I'm going to tell these apart. I'm going to go and look up what I bought to see if there's any more information on there, and then we'll see if we can light these things up. Wholesale Full Dream Color LED strip string fairy lights WS2811 RGB IC addressable individually 5 volts IP67 decorate Christmas tree. I got 10 meters of these in the 5 centimeter spacing, and currently they're selling for $18.52 Canadian with free shipping. The LEDs underneath the little blob of epoxy are SMD 3240 size. They claim to be IP67 waterproof. That's nice. It does warn you if you're going above 200 to 300 LEDs, you're going to have to use power injection partway along just because of the really light gauge of the wire. You're going to get data loss and voltage loss. And if it is in fact 26 gauge, yeah. Oh, there we go. The black point or gold wire is the positive voltage. Data is in the middle and ground is on the other side. Right. Let's see if that works. So if I'm correct from what I saw there, that should be, yeah, that's the same pinout as these common little LED controllers. So give that 5 volts, and hey, it lights up. Let's try some different modes here. Yeah, seems to work just like you'd expect addressable LEDs to work. And those are a neat form factor that I hadn't had my hands on before. So I think those would look pretty neat in a few different applications. More decorative stuff, you know, where the LEDs themselves are on show a little bit more rather than just illuminating things from a distance. The difference in light from the front to the back of them, because of that blob of sort of translucent stuff, I mean, yeah, there is a difference, but they still light up. That one, you're looking at the back side of it. That one, you're looking at the front side. Even from the edges. A definitely wider range of visibility than typical strips, which you only really get light coming out one side of. And the last one in. As tradition dictates, it's also the largest one. This one, again, doesn't have any customs lies on it, so we'll just have to find out what it is the hard way. This is an intelligent vacuum cleaner. with a slightly smushed box. Trade name is Sweeping Robot. It is 160 by 160 millimeters by 60 tall. Includes sweeper, USB, instructions, brushes, and it works on wood flooring, floor tiles, marble, etc. It's got all these different modes and features. Automatic mode, anti-collision, edge mode, long battery life, suck and sweep. You want that. Powerful suction and noise reduction system. What is that? Brushes and a power cord. And here's the unit. It's the baby brother for my Roomba. So we've got a couple of really bent brushes. We've got some Velcro, some sticky stuff with a little felt pad, and a USB to small little charging port. On top of this thing, we have a power button. We have what looks like a hatch that I assume that's the dust receptacle. There's a little piece of screen over. Is that the motor? Okay. That looks like a charging port there. On the bottom we have two wheels that just cruise along. And then we have this little guy with, I assume those are motorized wheels. Yeah, a little bit compliant. And it just spins around. Okay. I guess those are where the brushes go onto. Sure. It said on the package that there was instructions. There is not. I'm going to guess that this adheres probably on there and just kind of mops, pushes stuff along in front of the suction port. Maybe? Question mark. I'm going to go look at the listing and see if I can find instructions, and then I'll come back and I guess we'll look at this thing a little bit. Smart Sweeping Robot, Household Mini Intelligent Sweeping Robot, Sweeping, Dragging, Suction, all-in-one machine. For the princely sum of $16.25 Canadian. Though back when I bought it, it was only $10.18 plus tax, which is cheap enough for me to buy it just to laugh at it and take it apart and see what's inside it. Anyway, it claims to be able to handle dust, debris, soybeans, and steel balls. Yeah, I'll be impressed if it picks up dust. What else do we say about it? It's been certified by CE. China export, yes. High efficiency rotary wiping. The wiper is driven by the high-speed rotation of the wiper plate. Okay. Deep cleaning, don't know. Here we go. Charging mode, USB. Charging time about 80 minutes. 400 milliamp hour battery. Working time about 30 minutes. Okay, so it takes over twice as long to charge as it does to run. Sure. Steering in case of obstacles. Okay. Working mode, mopping the floor. Right, whatever. Let's just scroll through some of these pictures and see if we can figure out where to install that little scrubby pad. Ah, there we go. Okay, just between the back wheels. Sure. So let's see what this thing has to say for itself. Charging speed. It's charging at 80 milliamps. Right, I'll let that cook for a bit. This thing, it showed just sticking it on between the wheels. Should I take it apart right now? No, I'll save that for a video. Pushing the button does nothing. Cool. It's even crappier than I expected. I'm going to tear it down anyway, so might as well make a video out of it. As I said, I wasn't really buying it because I needed a companion for my Roomba. I just wanted to see what a cheap $10 unit would get. Huh, it looks like it's already finished charging. Did it ship fully charged? Once again, an interesting and somewhat random assortment of stuff. Starting with this disappointing little camera shutter solenoid thing, much smaller than I expected, probably not going to be useful. There's these little LED control chips. Those are interesting, and I might throw together a circuit with those at some point. The fact that they are dimmable is probably the most interesting feature of these ones, for me anyway. Then the surprise contribution from a viewer like you. these heat shrink solder sleeves. Those are really handy to have around. I appreciate that. Thank you. And there's the LEDs. Probably the best of the things that I bought from this selection so far. The one that's actually going to have some practical use. I like those. They're neat looking. And it's a form factor that I hadn't seen before, so I had to get my hands on them. Of course I did. Then there's this thing, which doesn't even work. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a teardown victim in the future. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the people that send in donations of stuff. Also, thanks to people who donate through Patreon or YouTube channel memberships. Always appreciate that. And of course, thanks to everybody for watching. Questions and comments down below as usual. I'll talk to you later.